The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to another E3 2018 special edition of Video Games to the Max as we look at the Ubisoft E3 2018 press conference. With me as always here is Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And the man that's been joining us for all these things, Randy Isbelle.
Hello.
And making his debut on the E3 press conferences for this year, Mr. Daniel Anderson.
Hello.
Alright, so Ubisoft ran for like an hour and a half and showed a lot of stuff. They also ran into the we're going to talk before everything and then show something, which worked to varying degrees. Just Dance 2019, as if anybody was expecting that not to come out. And then Beyond Good and Evil 2 got another CG trailer and some pre-alpha game footage. They talked about it being a space opera. You can play solo or in co-op. And Jade is apparently a villain now. So that's interesting. I know I'm excited. I love the first game. Any of you guys excited about this game?
I never played it.
Yeah, I'm with Mark. I never played the first one. I'm more just impressed that Just Dance is still coming out for the Wii.
It's still coming out for the Wii?
It is still coming out for the Wii. I saw that after the press conference. But no, listen. At least they continue to show things from Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like when the first trailer came out, I'm like, haha, that's just never going to come out because it was nothing. Here it is again with, as you were saying, they should just make a movie. But they did show 20 seconds of gameplay. It looks like it's going to be very optimistic as far as what it wants to accomplish with their gameplay. It looks like there's a lot going on with it. If they can pull it off, it's going to be a great game, but it still is one of those that this looks like it's next gen for sure.
Yeah, the rate they're going, that's probably coming out. Like you said, this is going to be another one of those goodbye PS4, Xbox One, and hello PS5 and Xbox whatever. Mm-hmm. Here's our first game or whatnot. And to kind of add to that, I guess, is the Joseph Gordon-Levitt appearing for his hit record company that helps Ubisoft get crowd and fan art and music and backstory for this game. It was like Ubisoft telling all the people making this, like, hey, we'll help you make it, but you gotta we're not like funding the whole thing.
Well, they are going to have some crowd, like, if your thing gets picked, then you'll get, like, part of the profit sharing or something.
I mean, it's a neat idea, but it's just weird.
But it's really weird that you don't really get picked. You're supposed to collab with stuff, is what they kept saying. Is you're not going in and we're not getting voted for. We're all working together, and I don't know. It made no sense.
Yeah,
I thought that... Oh, go on.
Well, it sounded like everything was going to be collaborative. Like somebody would write something, and then other people would tweak it or add to it, and then it would just be some big fan base type thing. But now if they're saying people that initially get their stuff picked end up getting a portion of the profits, that's exactly what they said it wasn't.
Yeah, there's also some Beyond Good and Evil Fest that they're going to do. Which, okay.
That would be great. I thought that gameplay the trailer they showed, it looked a lot like Jak and Daxter 2.
the CG trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, like, the reason I made that movie comment is 'cause at the rate they're going with all these CG trailers, they could just make a, like, 1 hour movie that starts before the game or something. They don't, it's weird seems how little progress they've made since the last year, but I guess last year was literally, hey, we're making it, this year is, hey, we've worked on it, and I don't know, next year they'll have something.
Here's the pre-alpha footage.
Yeah.
So, Rainbow Six Siege was probably one of the weirdest ones that they decided to discuss here, because they basically just had it so they could discuss esports and a documentary. It's like, alright. Thanks for 5 or 8 minutes of that. I know none of us play Six Siege here, so I guess it's cool they have 35 million players.
Yeah, obviously it's a big franchise. Documentary could be interesting, but I mean, obviously it wasn't for us.
Division 2 got multiple trailers. Showing basically them going from the streets of messed up DC to starting to walk towards the monuments. And then they showed off, like, other things, talking about the main campaign that have basically, like Daniel joked about, has endgame content now, because after the main campaign's over, you can specialize for a character, you can have new weapons, and a bunch of other stuff. You can have, 8-player raids now?
Yeah.
So, you said there was 4-player raids in the first one?
Well, they weren't raids. They were kind of like dungeons, but like one of them, the one I remember, was a slog because it was like a wave-based survival and it took forever to do. And you could only be safe in like one area, and it sucked.
Well, hopefully they fix that for the second game, and they're adding 3 episodes of DLC for free. That's promising. So, I mean, are you a little bit more excited about Division 2 then, now after all the stuff on it, or?
It didn't look terrible, but I thought it still just kind of boring to me. Or it's not different enough.
It may just be a game that doesn't show well for demos, right? Like, not every game feels amazing. It's maybe better when you play it.
Yeah. I hope so.
Donkey Kong's special DLC got a musical interlude. And then they went into the Skull and Bones trailer, which showed various different pirates, letting them go on with the theme of the whole you don't have friends in this world. And they showed a lot of gameplay of the ships taken out, different ships, and you can call in friends apparently. You can sneak by other ships by disguising yourself. Apparently if you get like double teamed, the ship can go into like siege mode where you can just fire at will with no having to worry about things. And there's also a beta for this at some point. What did you say it was? What did you say it was, Randy? Just back flag with no Assassin's Creed?
It's Black Flag without the Assassin's Creed in it, and it looks awesome. The one thing that we noticed that is a little concerning is it looks like when you try to board a ship, that's just a cutscene. Like, that's not part of it, but it seems like the developers are going, your character is the ship, and that's what you're doing, and it's not you're running the crew, you're running the ship, and you can customize your ship and all that stuff. So, I mean, hopefully they just don't have that stuff made yet, and so they don't have that combat, and that would be a cool little extra element to have, but the gameplay they showed looked really, really good.
Anybody else interested in it at all, or?
Well, it looked like there were different classes of ship, like that you talked about that anchor one, and like he specifically said, like, oh, this one ship can do this anchor ability, and this other ship can fire off like 8 shells at once or something. So there's some variety.
Yeah, there's also a lot of customization to the ships,
Yeah,
and weapons and everything.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what they're going for right now to make it different than, say, just, oh, it is Black Flag without the Assassin's Creed, is it's more about your ship. And then perhaps if it does well, they can add in DLC where you do have onboard battles and stuff like that.
my concern with like onboard stuff is it would just be like Black Flag. You just give them the ship and just counter attack and then kill the guy or something. And especially if the idea of having player versus player stuff, that'll be a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in waves, so let's see how it goes after that. I guess. I mean, there's a beta, so people can test it out if they see how they didn't announce when the beta is or anything. So it'll just be one of those sign up, and I guess you'll get an email whenever it appears. They went into Transference with Elijah Wood coming on stage. He kind of just made allusions to what you do, going into someone's mind and solving puzzles. It's in VR and on traditional consoles. I feel like they might have changed that because I swear the first time they announced it, it was only VR.
Yeah, it was set as a VR game, and I think that they're trying to get more copies sold. So both ways.
Once they saw the sales figures for Star Trek Bridge Crew, they were like, we should make this for consoles.
Yeah, I just don't think that, PSVR itself might be doing well or decently enough, but I don't think that games are just popping off for that either. So
no.
Part of the problem is a lot of the games that they make for it are either short or very basic. There's a lot of promise to them, but nothing's ever developed on it like Bridge Crew. When you play the initial game, it's great, but you don't really have much to do after that.
Yeah, I really think they're taking the formula that Resident Evil 7 did. That, yes, you can just play it on the regular console, but to get the full experience, it's better in VR, which could be a good selling point, too. It's like, hey, play this game, but if you really want the true experience, that's when you get VR and the whole game's on there. So, I mean, that could definitely work, too. And from what they showed, I'm very intrigued. It looks very interesting.
Yeah, I liked how it looked, too. I did get a lot of the Resident Evil 7 vibe from it, just of how it would play out in VR. And, I mean, I look forward to it. And I'll probably break out my headset and play it when it comes out just to see how it is.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I got to go back because Sean, you skipped the most important part of this press conference, and I'm upset.
What?
Trials.
Oh, I'm sorry.
New Trials game.
Yeah.
It's coming out next year. The dude broke the podium. That is just fun. He's very cheesy, but you can tell he just has a lot of fun, and that's what Trials is. So that was the one hope I had coming into this press conference is we're going to get a new Trials game. I'm sad I have to wait till February, which, good God, if nothing gets pushed back,
everything's coming out.
All of your tax returns are going to be spent on the 95 games that are coming out February 2019.
Everything will get pushed back to the same month, so it'll be like April now.
It'll just keep pushing.
Well, at least you can just save more of your tax return.
That's very optimistic, saying that it would only get pushed back to April from February.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those will get pushed back 6 months or something.
Don't worry, guys. Crackdown 3 is still coming out sometime soon.
Right.
I could see Microsoft just putting that out, being like, okay, just go die. Whatever. Terry Crews, you yell and scream in the Game Pass all you want to. Like, just whatever. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I don't know. I have these all numbered, and I think it's because I didn't have a long thing for Trials, and sorry about that, Randy.
Shame on you, sir.
Well,
I will say that. Go ahead.
We also haven't mentioned one of the more interesting parts of the press conference. the inability to turn off microphones as they go off stage.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
God.
That was the best part.
Happened during the Beyond Good and Evil. After that, they're like, "Yeah, we got him." Whatever. It's like, okay.
At least they were being human and not saying, "Hey, we fooled them once again."
Yeah. It was like during the Donkey Kong thing, they had to tell somebody to get on stage.
And then it was when I think it was when the conductor was like talking to someone. He's like, "Oh, we have a time change here," or something like that.
Okay. It's still funny. It happened multiple times during this. I also like the story that's kind of it's really creepy, and it's supposed to be, but the story for Transference seems very like I really want to know what they're trying to get at there. Is like the mom dead, or you know?
He's probably stuck in like the ghost world or something.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Something I didn't think would be such a big deal, but it was made a much bigger deal by a surprise announcement. Atlas, or the Starlink Battle for Atlas. It was funny because I had asked about that game earlier in the press conference, and then here it comes. And it features, more cartoony characters. They show the different space toys getting put on the controller. It comes out October 16th. It's open world. And then all of a sudden, oh, let's go ask for help. And what do you know? Starfox appears. And then Miyamoto sit in the audience. It's apparently Starfox and crew as well. And yeah. Starfox in another Ubisoft game. Another Ubisoft Nintendo collaboration.
Sure. I'm sure it'll be a damn sight better than that last Star Fox game.
I think that's not saying much there. I think that gives a lot of people an incentive to get it for Switch. My worry is we still haven't gotten any kind of announcement about how much these things are going to cost, the ships themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because Toys to Life is pretty much dead. And,
Honestly, I think now that we've seen Miyamoto on that Ubisoft stage back-to-back years, what are we going to get? 3, 4, 5 Ubisoft characters in Smash? These guys seem like best friends now.
Well, what Ubisoft characters did you put in Smash except for a Rabbit and Rayman?
You can put
Generic assassin.
Hey, there was one character that was not at Ubisoft. We've been waiting for his game. Sam Fisher could be in Smash.
Yeah. You could put a generic assassin in there. Or
you could probably put like Ezio.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big name characters could go in there.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they put the rabbits.
Oh, I would almost put that as a lock at this point.
For Honor has a new faction. I guess it's like some medieval China or something. And you can get a free trial of it right now on PC for a week if you want to play it. And it's called Marching Fire, and it has like a new mode as well, like a new 4v4 mode. Not interested in this at all, but that's awesome that once again, just like Six Siege, they've been able to come from behind and make this thing viable for people, so that's good. And then the Crew got an open beta for June 21st, which is 10 days before like a week or so more before the game actually comes out on June 29th, and you can preload it, the beta. Are y'all gonna try this out at all, or?
I'll give it a shot. Just because it looks, it kind of looks like they're Forza Horizon, so sure.
I feel like this is a game we could all play. With just getting to switch between all the vehicles and everything.
My thing is, I never was a huge fan of racing games other than Mario Kart, so I don't know if I would give this a try or not. But I mean, it looks good. I just no idea.
And then finally, they ended the whole thing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's you can basically explore land and sea. It has the female and the male character, Alexios or Cassandra with a K. I mean, they showed a whole gameplay sequence, which looked pretty good. I mean, Mark, you're the you were kind of mixed on the previous Assassin's Creed, so.
Yeah, and what they showed didn't exactly entice me too much. Like the big villain with the mask, I'm like, yep, we're getting another one of those.
What do you guys think?
I hope the story's good. Like, if it is, then I'll give it then I'll like it. But the story in Origins is just so piss poor that I stopped caring like 5 hours in.
Yeah, the story was rough in Origins, but I mean, I like the setting. But at this point, you can't say much more than that.
Yeah, they showed a lot of gameplay, and it looked pretty interesting. I like some of the battle, especially that last one they showed where there was a giant battle and you're just kind of stuck in the middle of it. So it could be interesting. That being able to choose characters, I think, that's the 2008 thing to do.
The 2008 thing?
The 18 thing.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke about it being 10
No. I just meant, I mean, we made a lot of jokes on the live stream. As the female main characters are in everything now, which is great. But it's just, it seemed like every game, it's like, oh, hey, now you can choose, which is totally fine. But like I said, it looks really interesting. Origins is on my shelf. I still need to get around to giving that a try because last year had way too many games and I had a baby, so I had no money. Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested in it. I've always liked the Assassin's Creed series, so I'm glad we got to see a good chunk of it.
Yeah, it's coming out, October 5th?
Yeah.
The other night. So, hey, Ubisoft will have a big month of October, it looks like. After maybe they get creamed in February or March. So, it's Assassin's Creed. Did you like the decision thing, Mark, or do you think it's even going to matter?
That seemed interesting, but I doubt it'll matter at all. Or like there was that one little romance option. So, like if you try to romance that woman, you might get that guy pissed off at you or something. I mean, but it'll probably be like very minor differences, if anything.
Yeah, I don't see it being a big Elder Scrolls type branching storylines, depending on what you say.
Well, what did y'all think about the press conference in general? They showed off a lot.
Needed more celebrities.
We could have cut off the very beginning of it.
No, Trials was in the beginning of it. You shush.
No, I mean the very first thing.
The Just Dance thing?
You have to sell the Wii game. A lot of people bought the Wii. You gotta sell your one Wii game.
They always have that. How many years running has that been? I think like at least... God, I think I remember the Ubisoft one I went to had some Just Dance performance. So it's almost 10 years running.
It's like Madden for EA. You know it's coming. They threw it at the beginning. They didn't really show anything. They just basically, hey, have a little dance thing at the beginning and move on. I think it was a fine way to just a way to open the show. So that was fine. Honestly, the press conference was good. It drug at times because there was a lot of talking bits, but they showed a lot of gameplay. Nothing was super surprising other than, I guess, the Starfox deal, but that's fine. Once again, E3 is a week or two of just, okay, what kind of crazy surprises are we going to get? And then just none of them ever happening. But I thought overall the conference itself was good.
Is anybody really surprised that there was no Splinter Cell after the leak? And
I kind of am, just because, they had him in Wildlands. I mean, why have him in that? Why get that guy back?
That could be the big thing that premieres with Nintendo's thing that they're doing. You had Starfox at Ubisoft and have Fisher on Nintendo.
I actually see Sam Fisher more as Sony, because I doubt Nintendo's going to like too many of the torture interrogation scenes on the Switch.
Oh, I just mean have the character show up in Smash Brothers.
Oh.
Have them announced on that the same way
Yeah,
that
I
they
would
did
think
Star
that
Fox.
maybe they let Sony have that one.
Have him sneak up behind Captain Falcon and break his neck or something.
Well,
That'd be
other
great.
than I guess Skull and Bones, was there any other games that weren't coming out in the next 12 months? I think that's the only one that doesn't have a release date.
Yeah, I think...
the Elijah Wood game, I don't think.
Oh,
And
okay.
neither does Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
forgot that
two
was
of
at the
them,
beginning.
Beyond
So-
Good and Evil,
So
and
I was more thinking that they're trying to focus on stuff coming out in 12 months, and so obviously everything else was stuff that they showed last year. And we're kinda giving
Transference
updates.
is the fall 2018. So
Did they ever? I saw where it said 2019, but I can't remember. Did they say anything about Division 2 other than 2019?
March
This is March.
15th.
Yeah.
Oh, March. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
no.
I think more they have a lot coming out in the 12 months. Like they could have pulled the Bethesda and just threw out the logo and got the whole hype thing. And I guess they decided if it's not coming out in the next 12 months, that'll be our big thing next year. If it doesn't show up at Sony or Nintendo, of course.
I wouldn't be surprised if it does show up at Sony, because Sony has so much stuff that they're showing that they want. That, like, their big four that are all coming at some point this year. They threw out the trailer for Days Gone on the freaking internet. So, like, you have to imagine that maybe they want some forward-looking games, and if they can throw out Splinter Cell without having to do much on it, with them already having big games that they showed, I think it helps them overload their conference and have everybody talking about them, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Is it 6 o'clock yet? Is it time to do the Sony press conference?
It's
I'm ready.
6:30 Eastern time.
I'm ready.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's it for Ubisoft. I guess we got to give it a rating. What are you giving it?
Honestly, they showed a lot. Like I said, a little boring at times. I'm leaning 7-ish. 7, yeah. 7 works.
I'd probably give it an 8. Like, there were a lot of games I didn't really care about, but they showed pretty well. And it wasn't, except for the opening, it wasn't too embarrassing. It wasn't Bethesda level, let's just say that.
Yeah, the Bethesda forced comedy at times was like, oh my god. Just stop.
Well, the pre-show to Todd Howard was pretty rough.
Yeah.
No, he was fine. I meant that Andrew WK.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like the rest of the Bethesda press conference seemed like the pre-show to the Todd Howard show. Once he came out there, that press conference was something completely different.
What do you think, Daniel?
I'd probably go about a 7 or an 8. It gave whatever. Without if they shortened the talking a little bit, I probably would have gone a little bit higher. They gave a bunch of gameplay and nothing 2+ years down the road, really. Presumably, anyway. Everything was pretty immediate or within 12 months, like we were saying, not far off in the future with stuff that we won't see for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, I'll go with 7.5. I think they showed off the games. The game that they really needed to show off was Assassin's Creed. They showed a lot of it. I'm a little disappointed that by this point you're still only showing a CG trailer and barely anything of gameplay for Beyond Good and Evil 2. But I think the rest of it, for Skull and Bones being the one game that's 2019, they sure showed a lot of it. That was a surprise at that. And yeah, I'm a little bit more intrigued by the Atlas game. If those toys are like $20 or more, you can count me out. But there's a lot they showed here, and it will be intriguing if they have that one more thing at Sony to show off too. So maybe that means Sony's not going to be spending 10 minutes on Assassin's Creed at all as well, since they showed so much of it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
But all right, I think that does it for us talking about Ubisoft. We got Sony left later tonight, and then we have Nintendo. Poor Randy's going to get kind of early at 9 a.m. for that one. And then that's it for the press conferences. It's felt like, and these went by fast. I felt like I haven't felt too, after EA just drug us through the dirt, I felt like we got through the rest of them pretty quickly. So, all right. Well, we will be back in a few short hours for Sony. See you later, everybody.
Later.
Later.
See ya.